Hi, this is Mike, and in this video, I'm going to talk about an idea I have that is very specific to AriasWave, but I thought I'd share it anyway, just because the waves, they're just compelling enough for me to actually make this video. And I need to talk about what we've seen in the last 48 hours, and I can only explain it in a particular way. So this is off the cuff, unofficial idea, right? So yes, on the last video, I made the case that potentially we haven't topped out. Except in this video, we're going back to the idea that potentially we did top out. And what we're going to see now is what you could call like a sharp correction, right? So it comes back to this zigzag that we saw first up, right? I was scratching my head a lot because once we saw this high, I thought, okay, it fizzled out. That's great. And then we came back and we didn't break the low, which was surprising. And then basically what happened was we created this pattern. And I think that this could be a B wave, this could be a C wave, and this could be a D wave, right? So what that means is that, well, for one, it should have broken the lows. There's no rule against it. And two, that, well, you see, Arias wave is of the understanding that not only do markets move up in five waves, but they also correct in five waves, right? So, funny enough, the third wave is a C wave. So, the C wave can also be very sharp, which is what we call here, I suppose, wave three. Except there's one problem with this being a weak five wave move to end a zigzag that the C wave was only meant to be as long as the A, is that we produced much longer than that, and therefore it makes no sense. But at the same time, it also makes no sense for this to be a 1, 2, 3 up pattern because that's not how they start. Impulsive moves, wave three is the sharpest, which would have been after B because in Arias wave, corrections happen the same in waves 2, 4, and B, right? B. The correction's always the same. So it's like a Lego set of waves that you can put together in different patterns, except they always happen in the same order. So this has led me to this idea, obviously. So I created AriasWave over, it's been 8 years now. And so basically, like we saw this pattern in XL, I identified this pattern in XLM, right? It's a sharp correction with a BCD in the middle, right? I don't know if you've seen that. I'll link it down below. The title is the Perfect Count for XLM, right? So okay, so we have A, B, C, D, and now E has to be the longest or longer. And what we've seen so far to me can only be classified as a 1, A, B, C, D, and E, right? And the funny thing also is that at the lows, we had a weak five wave move, a break above it. And now, if we don't break this low, which we're pretty close to it, this could potentially go up from here, right? Up, up, up and away, right? And I'll talk about the larger pattern in a moment and how this relates to the whole idea. But the way that this made this weak, really weak five wave move and ended off with a weak five wave move at the end, and it didn't go below the low for the zigzag idea, to me, it's pretty telling of something else going on. So that's why I think potentially we have bottomed. If it's bottomed right here, great. I think it might have, right? I think since the start of this video, I've started to see small moves up. Could be nothing, right? But that's not the point. The point is, if this whole idea is right, then that means that would mean that obviously we did top in Bitcoin as I thought before. And the problem is that I just didn't recognize this pattern until now. And that's why I have to share it with you. So it's off the cuff, unofficial, because it's such a esoteric um, type of analysis that Ellioticians would have no idea about this sort of thing. I think it's next level shit. So that would mean that that was D wave back there, that was an E wave, that was a 5, that's done. This is wave 1 down. Wave 2 would produce a move up because weak 5 wave moves typically have deep retracements, right? They typically retrace the whole thing. But if it's a wave 2, well, it can only go up, can't go above the top. So therefore, I believe that there's a chance that this could be a deep retracement, fast retracement. And why would it take so long, right? Because remember what I said, this is not a proper zigzag. The zigzag ended here, right? I'll just highlight that there for you. It ended right here in this area, right? So for this to give the overall appearance of a zigzag is misleading. And it's also not true. So for us to expect a zigzag down, well, that means that we'd have to break this low, which we haven't, right? So therefore, that means that this is a bottom. It won't produce a zigzag here because it's not that type of pattern, right? So if you want to learn how to do this type of thing, I teach it. I made it. I created it, AriasWave.com, right? Check out my profile. Another quick thing I'll mention also is that we also have this type of teacup pattern, right? Where we have a low, a nice big hammer at the lows there. That's pretty bullish. Well, in terms of correction, it is. And we have this bowl type pattern. And we also have this 500 period moving average, which is the reason why it got stopped where it did. And also, if you look at the 1 hour, which I mentioned this when I comment on my posts recently, right? Part of the reason why the wave A fizzled out, or yeah, wave A fizzled out, is because of that moving average as well, right? So if you think about it, the 500 and 1000 period moving averages are fairly meaningful, right? Look at the price action as it is contained in this area. It squeezed it up. Right? It went down into it hard. It couldn't go below it in the wave 5 zigzag, and it squeezed it up, right? And now it's kind of creating like what you could call the handle part of a cup, but you could also say it's like a bull flag, right? But it's not a zigzag, right? Because we've already established that. And it's also a potential bottom here. So only AriasWave could give you this type of insight, right? There's no way on earth AriasWave could do it, or I don't think anyone else could do it. So I'm giving it to you right here. Like I said, if you want to learn this stuff, I recommend that you get onto it quick because you wanna be learning how to read the waves because they could be potentially very, very valuable for your trading. And you can even use it in combination with other tactics. And look, at the 5 minute chart, we might even get a crossover now. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.